In 2023, China launched more rockets into orbit than any other nation, outpacing the United States for the second year in a row. This is more than a statistic, it's a signal that the global aerospace order is shifting. The era of uncontested American dominance in the skies is being challenged. China's ambitions are no longer theoretical, they're visible, competitive, and reshaping the industry. The race is on for supremacy in space, commercial aviation, and military technology. The implications go far beyond profits or pride. They touch global security and the balance of power. For decades, American companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin set the standard. But China, through massive state investment and strategic policy, has become a formidable competitor. The question is no longer if China will catch up, but whether it has already surpassed the US in key areas. We'll examine the pillars of aerospace, commercial aviation, military advancements, and space technology. We'll analyze China's strategies and the vulnerabilities exposed in the American industrial base. This is more than a story about planes and rockets. It's about the unraveling of an established order and the dawn of a new contested age. The skies are no longer America's alone. To grasp today's challenge, we must first understand America's historic aerospace dominance. After World War II, U.S. innovation and investment made it the world's aerospace powerhouse. The jet age began with the Boeing 707, shrinking the globe and cementing America's leadership. For decades, Boeing and Airbus controlled the skies, setting global standards. American military aviation, fueled by Cold War rivalry, produced icons like the F-15 and B-2. DARPA's investments led to breakthroughs in stealth and unmanned systems, giving the U.S. a decisive edge. This legacy bred complacency. Leadership was assumed permanent, supply chains secure, and IP protected. But globalization created new vulnerabilities. In the East, China studied the American model, determined not just to replicate it, but to surpass it. The foundations of U.S. dominance, once thought unshakable, began to show cracks. China's rise is not accidental, it's the result of long-term vision and immense resources. The aerospace landscape is no longer America's uncontested domain. The world is witnessing a fundamental shift in power. The question now, can the U.S. adapt? For years, China was the biggest growth market for Boeing and Airbus, fueling their profits and global reach. But Beijing saw dependence on foreign aircraft as a strategic weakness. The Made in China 2025 policy targeted aerospace for self-sufficiency and global competition. China invested billions in R&D, built new universities, and leveraged its massive market to demand technology transfers from Western firms. Joint ventures became the price of market access, accelerating China's learning curve. The result, COMAC, China's state-owned aircraft manufacturer, founded to break the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. Its first project, the ARJ-21 regional jet, faced delays and relied on Western parts but gave China vital experience. The ARJ-21 was just the beginning, a stepping stone to something bigger. The real challenge to Western dominance was still to come. China's strategy: learn fast, build faster, and use its domestic market as a launch pad. The world's largest aviation market was about to become its newest competitor. The stakes, not just economic but national sovereignty and technological independence. The main event was about to take off. The COMAC C-919 is more than an airplane. It's a symbol of China's ambition to rival Boeing and Airbus. Its first commercial flight in 2023 was a national milestone, signaling China's arrival as a serious aerospace contender. Assembled in Shanghai, the C-919 still relies heavily on Western engines and avionics. But Beijing sees this as temporary. The goal is full self-sufficiency. Domestic alternatives like the CJ1000A engine are already in development. China's strategy: replace every foreign component, insulate against sanctions, and control its own supply chain. The C-919's initial market is China's protected domestic airlines, with over 1,000 orders already placed. This state-backed ecosystem gives COMAC a guaranteed customer base and time to refine its product. While the C-919 lacks Western certification, its dominance at home will erode Boeing and Airbus's market share. The message is clear. China is building not just planes but an entire aerospace industry. The C-919 is just the beginning of a new era. Western companies now face a competitor with state support and a captive market. The global balance in aviation is shifting. While the C-919 grabs headlines, China's military aerospace transformation is even more dramatic. The People's Liberation Army Air Force has rapidly modernized, moving from outdated Soviet designs to advanced, homegrown aircraft. The Chengdu J-20 stealth fighter now rivals America's F-22 and F-35, with hundreds already in service. Allegations of cyber espionage surround its development, but the result is undeniable. China has a fifth-generation fighter in mass production. The Xi'an Y-20 transport gives China global reach, while the upcoming H-20 stealth bomber could threaten targets across the Pacific. This buildup is aimed at deterring U.S. intervention, especially over Taiwan and the South China Sea. China's anti-access/area denial strategy uses advanced aircraft and missiles to keep U.S. forces at bay. The proliferation of Chinese fighters and bombers has ended the era of uncontested American air superiority in the region. The Pacific skies are now a battleground. The U.S. must adapt to a new reality. Air dominance is no longer guaranteed. China's military aviation is now a peer competitor. The balance of power has fundamentally changed. The US-China rivalry extends into space, where satellite technology is the new high ground. China's Beidou navigation system now rivals America's GPS, giving Beijing independence and global reach. Beidou is promoted worldwide, eroding US technological influence. China's satellite constellation provides real-time intelligence, surveillance, and targeting, key for modern warfare. This network can track US carriers, guide missiles, and monitor troop movements. China is also developing counterspace weapons, co-orbital satellites, and anti-satellite missiles. In 2007, China destroyed one of its own satellites, proving its ability to threaten US space assets. The weaponization of space is no longer theoretical, it's happening now. America's military and economic infrastructure depends on vulnerable satellites. The space domain is now a contested battlefield. China is a leading player in this new era of space competition. The stakes are nothing less than global security. The Tiangong space station is the crown jewel of China's space ambitions. Completed in 2022, it marks China's arrival as a leader in human spaceflight. As the International Space Station nears retirement, Tiangong may soon be the only permanent crewed outpost in orbit. Excluded from the ISS, China built its own program from scratch: launch vehicles, crewed spacecraft, and the station itself. Now, nations seeking access to space may turn to China, shifting the balance of scientific cooperation. China has invited international partners, positioning itself as a new hub for space research. Its ambitions go further: robotic landings on the moon, a planned lunar research station, and a goal to land taikonauts by 2030. This sets up a direct race with NASA's Artemis program. The competition is for more than prestige, it's for lunar resources and leadership in the next space age. The US-China space race is underway. The outcome will shape the future of exploration and international influence. The final frontier is now a contested domain. The world is watching a new space rivalry unfold. China's aerospace rise is no accident. It's a product of deliberate, long-term strategy. Three pillars drive this ascent: massive state investment, aggressive technology acquisition, and a protected domestic market. State-owned enterprises operate on decades-long timelines, serving national goals over profits. Technology transfer, both legal and illicit, has accelerated China's progress. Joint ventures force Western firms to share know-how. Cyber espionage has targeted sensitive US programs. The domestic market acts as an incubator, guaranteeing sales for Chinese products like the C919. This protectionist approach gives China's industry time to mature before facing global competition. Meanwhile, Boeing and Airbus must compete for every order worldwide. The Chinese model fuses economic and security goals, enabling coordination the US struggles to match. America's free market approach faces a state-driven rival playing by different rules. The challenge? How to compete with a system designed to reshape the global order. The US and its allies must rethink their strategies. The rules of the game have changed. The evidence is clear. American aerospace dominance is no longer uncontested. China's rise is the result of decades of planning, investment, and a drive for self-sufficiency. The C919 threatens the Boeing-Airbus duopoly. The J-20 and Tiangong station signal military and space parity. This is not American decline, but a new era of fierce competition. US innovation remains strong, but old assumptions about superiority and secure supply chains no longer hold. The red warning is not about the future, it's about the present. This is a contest between two systems, two visions for technology and global order. The outcome will shape security, trade, and the standards of the 21st century. The US and its allies face tough choices: invest, protect, and compete, or fall behind. Complacency is no longer an option. The 20th century story was written in America, the 21st is being written in China. The final outcome is unwritten, a narrative forged in competition. The world now looks to the skies and sees two powers racing for the future,